Hello and welcome to Europhoria, a podcast where we look back on the great glam and garish of Eurovision past. My name's Isobel Chilman and I'm joined, as ever, by a man who makes me think about things. And those things I think about are, is this love? It's Roland Bodnam! A little dedication there from your favourite Icelandic singer.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Very nice to hear from you as well. Very nice to hear your lovely voice. It's week. We don't even care anymore of isolation. And,
I'm done. I'm tapping out. I'm done with it. I'm bored of it. I was being very positive and chipper about the whole situation and very British, you know. We'll just crack on with it, and as a country, as a nation, we'll do fine. I'm bored now, thank you. I would like a pub beer garden. I would like my friends. I would like a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I'm a bit done. I'm having a
sulk.
A moment. I'm having a sulk.
It's okay. We're all allowed those moments, but I'm sure. Yeah, I kind of feel like it has sort of reached a tipping point now of everyone. Just the novelty has worn off, and everyone is kind of doesn't want it to be their lives from now until forever. So we'll move on a little bit. And are you?
Is that too grumpy a start? That's too grumpy a start, isn't it? We have to. There's honesty, there's realness, and that's fine, and that's what we're here for. But also, maybe we need to be more positive. So, Roland, fun thing that's happened in the last week. A fun thing for me is that my friend Benji, our friend, your friend of mine, Benji, is following a amateur dramatics group on Facebook from Halifax, our hometown of Halifax, and they've been filming these what they call kitchen sink dramas, which is
excellent.
Just a monologue of them in front of the kitchen sink talking about something. They're brilliant. And I recorded my own and it was very well received by the group. So that made me smile a lot this week. It was a completely improvised monologue at my kitchen sink. I'll share it with you, Roland. It'll make you laugh.
I do. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I do like those. I think I've done it for you occasionally. Like you can very easily just improvise.
Yeah, Alan Bennett.
Alan Bennett.
Oh yeah, it is going because it's northern. It does very easily go down the Alan Bennett route.
Mother and I used to sit by the window and watch as the buses went by. We'd count the.
I love it.
It's not bad.
I do it all the time by myself, just nattering about stuff. That's basically what my one was yesterday, about quarantine. I did enjoy it. I'll send it to you. You like it. I was channeling Jean from Dinner Ladies.
Very nice. Yeah, that's good.
Great. That's a better start. There you go. Sorry, everyone.
Well, I think I'll include both in the edit, and then it's a balance, isn't it?
It's a balance. You've got to find a balance, everyone.
Yeah. And thinking of another positive thing, are you drinking anything this week?
Of course I am, mate. Of course I am.
Question.
I can't remember what it is, but it's wine.
Okay, I was going to say, if you really can't remember what even type of beverage it is, you may have had
it's one of the, what's it called? It's one of those ones that's the wine that's got the criminals on the front.
Oh, the Australian one, isn't it?
Is that what it is? So I've got an Australian red wine.
And if you hold your phone up to it, the picture moves.
What?
Yeah, it's really creepy.
What? I didn't know this.
I think you have to download the app, but I think it does. I think it says on the bottle somewhere. Anyway, they're not sponsoring us. So
I don't read bottles of wine. I just open them and drink them and hope for the best.
It's fine. I am drinking. I'm back on the gin and tonic. I think I've been alternating 1 week on, 1 week off. But it's not a London gin and tonic. It's imported from Vienna, Austria. So I've kept with the whole European thing.
A Vienna gin? Are they famous for their gin?
No, I don't know that it is. I don't know where it came from. It's one of those bottles that you're like, I never bought this, but it's in my cupboards.
But it exists and it's here. So I'm drinking it.
So yeah, I'm just gonna pour that now for us. Hold on. Here's my tonic. Ooh. There we go. I will say, actually, I tell you what, I've got maybe this is any other business. Are we skipping the news? I'm going to make the noise just because we do it.
There is no news.
I think I did some research. I think the Eurovision movie has been delayed, but they're not saying very much about it at all. I also discovered the full name of it, which I think I'm the only person who's discovered that because it was like deep in the bowels of the Netflix website. It was something like Song of the Phoenix or something like that. Eurovision Song of the Phoenix. Anyway, that's not really news. I will say that one of my highlights of the week, and this is in any other business, is the amazing feedback we've had, the response to your game, Vag or No Vag.
Yes!
There was clamour on the Twitter sphere to have access to the complete list that you had. Yeah. And I was incredibly proud of the response to the game, and very excited for you, Isobel, because I think that's a new venture for you.
That could be primetime viewing, as big as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh yeah, TV show. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. It could be board games. It could be TV shows. It could be you've got a multi-platform deal thing going on there. It's very exciting.
I do. Yeah, this could make me rich.
So are you going in response to that? What are people gonna? Do people have access to the full list, or are we holding some of those back for our own benefit?
Not full list yet. If you email us at euphoriapodcast@gmail.com, then I will happily send you the list that I read out in the last episode.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Full list, you've got to wait for, my babies. You've got to wait for it. You've got to hold on, because you want to have fun as well. Remember, this is fun for you. So if I just sent you the full list, you've missed out on all this fun. You've missed out on playing the game.
Exactly. Yeah,
there is
can't use it all
a lot of them, though. So
yes.
We've got a good few more chunks to be able to send you.
We may need to fill that time. Speaking of emailing and emails, we have some lovely listener emails this week. We're going to talk about 3. We have one email with the subject line, "Some thanks and some stuff." It reads, "Roland and Isobel, I've been meaning to email you for weeks and years before that to express my continued gratitude for your joy of a podcast."
Years?
Years before that.
What has been stopping you? Years? We say the email address minimum twice every episode. Not going to judge. Maybe you're shy. No. But years is too much.
Years is a long time, yeah. Yes. So anyway, it goes on. This season's songs have been banger after banger. Well, I might have run out, but we'll see. And if you're looking for someone to sing Every Day is Party Day next year, and you don't mind possibly problematic performers, I'm sure Russia's Little Big would love a call. That's this year's entry from Russia, who, as I understand it, are slightly problematic, but I will say that it was slightly inspired by their aesthetic, their audio aesthetic, let's say.
Okay.
No, it's not a rip-off. It was just a big brassy Balkan weird electro hit. And Isobel, thank you so much for the Alex Sparrow story. Any reason to remember my first Eurovision final is great in my book.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad. I love him. I love that boy. I love him.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Good boy. I hope so.
Then this listener suggests some stories for us. One of this is a guy called Ted Gardestad, who does have quite a remarkable story, but it's pretty dark and depressing. And
we need all the stories. What do you mean? We need it.
I don't know about this one. I've attempted to start writing it a number of times, but it's probably the most depressing story that I've encountered in Eurovision.
Okay. Am I allowed to take a crack at making it cheery?
I wouldn't Yes, but I feel like it would be quite bad taste for you to make it cheery.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
So, maybe I'll pass that one on to you, as well as the notorious sex pest Serge Gainsbourg. So you've got a couple of good old episodes coming out. I've decided
already that Serge deserves no more time.
No,
he deserves no more
time.
No more airtime. No, he's out. Okay.
I decided the exact same thing. Anyway, so friends, keep up the excellent work and the great songs and what I'm sure are amazing booties. And I'll make sure to tell you how fabulous you're doing much more often.
Oh.
Best in these weird times, Hunter.
Now, that's made me a bit teary.
Oh, mate. I do think really Hunter has emailed us before, but it must have just been years ago, which is quite terrifying.
How long have we been doing this?
I know, exactly. We have been doing it for nearly 4 years now.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
2016, mate.
No.
December 2016, yeah, 4 years. It's a long time.
What? Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to have a little party at some point then.
I know, yeah. Well, we're coming up to episode 70, which isn't really any reason
we're not celebrating that pile of crap. No. 70.
It's nothing.
No.
Okay, anyway, there's another email with a subject line, "It's been a while." It starts, "Hello, my loves. To start off, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with you. You've gotten quite soft on people who write in telling you what country they're from. Back in my... It says back in my day, which is another sign we've been doing this way too long because someone has a back in my day. We wrote in just what continent we were from, lest we face the scrutiny of one Miss Isobel Chillman.
Oh my God, you're so right. I have slacked off here, haven't I? Oh my God.
Now, I can't remember why we did that, but
to make it more vague, I wanted more vagueness. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to know continents.
Okay.
Don't tell me your country.
No, we're all one.
We're all one entity.
Okay, so
I think mainly it was to piss you off. Actually,
I just didn't understand it.
I think it was because you were trying to be like the good radio presenter and be really on it with everything, and I was trying to be annoying to say no, just continent, no specifics, don't give us your name, not bothered about it.
That's how a lot of things start, I'm sure. With that out of the way, hi again. This is Jonathan from North America.
Yes, Jonathan.
Oh my God, we've got another one. I don't think I've written for a good few years now. Oh my God, Isabel.
We're bringing them out of the woodwork recently, aren't we? Jesus. Yeah. Clearly upped our game.
I know, but
or everyone's just bored as hell.
Yeah, exactly. They've got nothing else to do. They're like, oh, I listened to a podcast 4 years ago. Maybe I'll search that out again. But you may remember me from sending you an article about a Melfest-related murder.
Yes.
And telling you about French idioms that translate very poorly to English. Yes, I love those idioms. I don't remember the Melfest-related murder. Was that a bit dark as well?
It was just a little story. It was before you actually found your proper Eurovision murder. That wasn't quite.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll dig it out again because if we're desperate for stories. I'm a first-year university student now living back at home and taking classes online for the time being. And you two brighten my day without fail every Wednesday when I see your new episode. Wednesday in America, apparently, because I put it up at 11:30 p.m, which is amazing that you listen then. See your new episode uploaded. I'm also delighted that you've watched Drag Race UK, Isabel. Of course she has.
Yes, twice actually. I rewatched it last week, all in one day. Whole series, one day. I barely left my bed and I spent £350 on online shopping.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Stuff.
Thank you. Yes, I was very proud of myself.
You should be. Perhaps you can get Roland to watch it and make it a topic for a future episode. Again, this is just when we just give up on doing anything Eurovision related.
No, they have a reason.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is it. After all, past Drag Race contestant Courtney Act made an attempt to represent Australia at Eurovision last year. And
the song was horrendous. So bad. So Courtney Act was on American Idol, Australian Idol, one of the idols. pre-Drag Race, because she was one of the Drag Race contestants that would go on, and then that's all they would talk about. I was on an Idol. I can sing. I find Courtney Act's voice unbearable to listen to. Her as a celebrity, as a drag performer, fabulous, wonderful, gorgeous. Oh my God, so much fun.
Yeah.
Her voice, I cannot abide it though. And her entry last year was real bad. Real bad. Thank God it didn't get through.
Well, also the Frock Destroyers from Drag Race UK were heavily rumoured at one point to be representing the UK at this year's contest, which, of course,
that would have been great. That would have been real
been.
good. They'd have done better than bloody James would have done for us.
Well, we'll never know. Anyways, just writing in to thank you for the distraction you're both providing. And I'm thinking of you both during this very strange time. Jonathan. Thanks, Jonathan.
I'm bringing back another one for you. You're my favourite. You're my favourite, Jonathan.
Oh, wow. We're really going back, pulling out of the back of the cupboard, aren't we?
Yeah.
Jonathan's your favourite. Very nice. We actually have one more email from a brand new emailer, which I think is probably the first time this season we've been able to say that. We have an email. The subject line is just vag or no vag. And it says, it's a nice and short one, this one. It just says, morning, I would be eternally grateful to have the list of this game of all games. It is exactly the kind of quiz my friends will love. Thank you for bringing it into our lives. Love the pod. Daisy.
Oh, mate.
Give us an email and... Well, you have given us an email. That's why that was like
Daisy,
a weird...
I am messaging you back as I speak right now.
Excellent.
And send you the first instalment of Vag or No Vag.
Yes. Speaking of like those pub quizzes, I had a really good one that wouldn't work over podcasts, but I was listening to lovely Adam Buxton podcast, and he had Tash Demetriou.
I listened to that one the other day.
Right, you know, with some quizzes, and especially the online ones right now, people are doing those like baby pictures where it's like, who was this baby?
Yeah.
And people from the quiz send in their baby pictures. Well, she had a really great game where people send in a picture of the person they lost their virginity to, and everyone has to guess it. I think that's such a good idea, and I really want to do it. I think that says a lot about people.
That's brilliant.
It does mean you have to do a little bit of social media stalking, I'm sure, but that's fine. So that was our lovely emails this week. Thank you very much for emailing. We've already said it once, but let's do it again. If you want to email us, you can email us at europhoriapodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach us on Twitter at...
EurophoriaCast. That's it. At EurophoriaCast. That's all we are on Twitter. We may or may not respond.
We might like it. But,
might like it, and then what will actually happen is Roland will see it first because he's more on it than I am, but he knows he's not meant to respond. I'm not. So he will like it, I will see it 48 hours later, and then I will word a response to it.
This was agreed very early on in the podcast, and I have stuck to this as much as possible. I'm not allowed to respond because my Twitter game is not great.
Just very eager, aren't you? Just
I'm very
excitable.
Eager. Yeah, you know me. Anyway, that's the rules. Them's the rules, and I stick to them. Okay, so Isabel, this week it's my turn for a story, but this week I don't really have a story, but in a way, I've got many stories.
Oh God, I'm tired already.
You can't yawn as I'm introducing what I'm doing this week. No, that's terrible. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun here. It's terrible.
I am having fun. I am having fun.
You already are. Isabel, as you and I know, over the years, there are some songs which get selected by their nations to enter the Eurovision Song Contest which don't quite make it to the show. For a variety of reasons, there have been songs throughout the history of the contest that fall by the wayside before even making it to the semi-final night of the competition. And so, Isobel, this week I wanted to celebrate just a small selection of those songs by holding our very own alternative Eurovision. I have taken 6 of the more outstanding lost songs from the past 10 years for us to listen to, hear a bit of their stories of why they never made it to the show, and then decide who wins the Blacklist Eurovision.
This is a great episode, Roland. Why haven't we done this before?
I know. So I've done from the last 10 years, actually 11 years, because I wanted to include one from 2009. But, I mean, there's cancelled songs that go way back for a variety of reasons. I do also have another element to this, which we can do depending on how much time we have. I've got some of the songs that were sent in the place of these songs.
Okay.
And I also have noted down where the songs finished in the contest. So maybe on a couple of them we can speculate as to whether the original would have finished better than the song that was sent.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
into this.
Isobel, are you ready?
Ready.
We are going to begin in 2009. The first of our banished bops today is, of course, the provocative 2009 funk pop song We Don't Wanna Put In.
Yeah.
I'm leaning on Putin there. We don't want to put in. Now, of course, we know that Georgia and Russia have a pretty checkered past, with an invasion of Georgia by Russia occurring just 1 year previous to this entry. There was a short war that broke out where 192,000 people were displaced, of whom 20,000, mostly ethnic Georgians, remained displaced 5 years later. And so, if you go by what Stefan and 3G, who were the band who sung the song, alleged, completely unrelated to all of those things I just said, the 5-piece comedy funk group wrote and performed a song entitled We Don't Wanna Put In, featuring lyrics like, we don't want to put in the negative move, it's killing the groove, I'ma try to shoot in some disco tonight to boogie with you. The issue being that put in sounds very similar to the Russian president's name, Putin. In the face of the pressure to make alterations to the lyrics from some of Georgia's cultural and political figures in order to avoid the dreaded dismissal for being too overtly political, the official Georgian Eurovision spokesman stuck to their guns and said on the 20th of February 2009 that the song would not be amended. And as such, on the 10th of March 2009, the EBU ruled that the song lyrics do not comply with Section 4, Rule 9 of the rules of the 54th Eurovision Song Contest and cannot take part in the competition, which meant that Georgia would have to rewrite the song or choose another entry. However, no such changes were made, and on the very next day, the Georgian Eurovision contingent withdrew their entry from the song contest, meaning we never got to hear We Don't Want to Put In on the Eurovision stage.
Sad times.
Shall we have a listen to Stefan and 3G, We Don't Want to Put In?
Yeah.
The glass of moonshine. The hell out of me. But let me pour some good stuff. Some good stuff. Just good stuff. We don't want to put in a negative move. It's killing the groove. I'ma try to shoot in some disco tonight. Boogie with you.
Okay, so that was We Don't Want to Put In by Stefan and 3G. It's, I mean...
I like the melody. I like the actual music element of it. The lyrics, not so keen. The vocal quality is not good from Stefan and 3G. Not good.
Poor,
Not
yes,
a good
quite
group of
poor.
singers. The dance moves are, I mean, it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
It's worth a watch to see the visuals.
Watching the video also, it made me realise that there's been a distinct lack of bubbles in any Eurovision song recently on stages. I
Yeah,
think
people haven't utilised bubbles enough.
the power of bubbles. No, lots of fire, and that's effective, but bubbles are cool too.
Bubbles are cool too.
I wonder if instead of, they have like sometimes an ice skater or a man in a hamster wheel, they could get one of those guys who do massive bubbles from the South Bank in London or something like that.
Oh, God.
They're always interesting to watch.
Just kids going mad and getting covered in weird gross bubble juice.
It's great. It's very entertaining. Okay. We don't have, because Georgia just pulled out for that one, so we don't have something to compare it to. But Isobel, I hope you're taking notes, because at the end we'll go through all 6 of them and we're going to rank them from worst to best.
Okay.
Okay, so Isobel, we're going to move to 2011 now. And we are going to go to the country of Belarus. Anastasia Vinikova was selected to represent Belarus in February of 2011 with the song Born in Belarusia. However, just 3 days later, the song was given a new title and lyrics after it was pointed out that the lyrics and title was quoting memories from the Soviet Union times. The new lyrics were written to reflect a more contemporary Belarus. However, even then, the entire song had to be withdrawn just 9 days after that, as it was revealed that the song had been performed in public in the summer of 2010. And as we know, that's a big no-no. And so, finally, Anastasia entered with a brand new song, but a similar sentiment with a song called I Love Belarus. So, we're going to listen to the original one with the slightly problematic Soviet Union-y lyrics. But I will predict that you'll agree with me in thinking it's quite a catchy tune. Let's have a listen.
When I was waiting a star back in the USSR, I was as good as my mom. Feel my passion. Round and round we go. Born in Belarusia, USSR time, Belarusia. Crazy and so fine, time is rushing. Everything crashing, passing by. Born in Belarus.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm
isn't
into
that-
it.
I mean,
That's
is
a bop.
an absolute bop. If you ignore the slightly sort of weird,
Yeah, slightly odd
problematic,
lyrics.
weird
Yeah.
Soviet Union lyrics.
But I
it
was
is
grooving
a
to that.
bop and a half. Yeah, absolutely. I'm fully on board with that. Now, we do have the alternative that was entered into the song contest. Shall we have a listen to that? It's I Love Belarus. Equally patriotic, maybe not equally as catchy. Let's listen.
Let's come together, so here is my hand. We're gonna fly, watching lakes and they're full of you. Fields are full of gold, and it's all my land. I love Belarus, got a deep inside. I love Belarus, feel it in my mind. And I wanna see the sun shining from above. You will always be the one, I can get enough. I love Belarus, got a deep inside.
There you go. It is patriotic
Wow.
and dramatic. Anastasia Vinikova there with I Love Belarus. What do you think, Isobel? I mean, obviously, Born in Belarusia, if you take away any of the actual content and meaning of the song, pretty great.
So I Love Belarus, the version that actually made it into Eurovision, I don't think is as much of a bop melody-wise as the original band version. But the outfits, I am wild about. The dance moves, loving. Even the microphone stands, like the weird light-up board things that they have. Visually, I'm into it. Visually, I'm on board.
Would you like to know where I Love Belarus actually finished
I would.
At Eurovision in 2011? It came in... It didn't even make it to the final. It came in 14th place in the semi-final. Isobel, before, obviously take notes for the final reveal of the scores, but do you think that Born in Belarusia would have finished higher than 14th place in the semi?
Yes. I still don't know if it would have made it through to the finals. In fact, no, I'm going to change that to I don't think it would get through to the finals. But I think it maybe would have been one of those cusp ones, on the cusp of getting through. It wouldn't have done well in the finals. It wouldn't have performed highly. But I think yeah, it would have done better at the semis because it had a bit more, it had more meat to it. It had more edge to it, you know?
It was a more disco-y number.
Bit difficult in certain elements with the lyrics, but it had a more memorable element to it.
I think it might make it to some of my Eurovision playlists. It's quintessentially Eastern European pop.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, I think they're on a par in terms of level of how good they are if you weigh up the melody with the lyrics. Like, I do like the I love Belarus. Like that, I'm definitely going to see myself like singing that around the flat over the coming weeks.
Sure.
And really
sure.
confusing my housemate.
Yeah.
I love Belarus.
It's a weird country to have that sort of fascination with, but there you go. Okay, we're going to move on. 1 year ahead now, and we are moving to 2012, but we're not going anywhere because we are also staying with Belarus.
Oh, wow.
After advancing to the semi-finals that were held on December 21st, 2011, Alyona Lanskaya qualified for the Eurofest 2012 finals as one of the 5 chosen from the 15 entries. The finals were held on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, where her song All My Life came first and won by 12 points from the televotes, making the song Belarus's entry for the Eurovision Song Contest 2012. However, 10 days later, on February 24th, 2012, it was announced that Lanskaya was disqualified after, and this is what Wikipedia said, the Belarusian president, not of music, but the president, conducted an investigation uncovering a corrupt win for Lanskaya.
Oh no. Belarus naughty 2 years in a row.
2 in a row. There were rumours circulating that the producers had rigged the televoting, giving her 12 points and thus making her the winner. In response to the allegations, again, the Belarusian president ordered an immediate investigation, and it was later confirmed to be true.
Well, you know what is good though is that it shows that A, world leaders care about Eurovision, and B, there is a world leader out there, at least one, who is not going to repeat the mistakes of General Franco. As we have learnt from stories past, that they are not only engaged with Eurovision, but they are not willing to corrupt it. I'm on board with them. This is great. If we could have more power from Boris supporting Eurovision and not allowing it to become corrupt. No corruption in Eurovision. That is going to be our next piece of merch is t-shirts that say no corruption in Eurovision.
We will protest wherever we think there has been. So this is probably one that's more worth listening to for the story than the song, but we're going to listen to the song anyway. It is Alyona Lanskaya with the song All My Life.
Light shines on me in darkest night. All my life, I've been waiting for your arms to hold me. All this time, I've been searching for someone like you.
All right, we don't need to listen to
No, shit Bond song.
It's not.
That's gone
it's
down
one
the
of those ones.
standard Eurovision trope of often Azerbaijan and Armenia fall into
Georgia
this.
did it 1 year, yeah.
Georgia shit Bond song.
Shit Bond song.
That is the route they've gone down.
So I mean so she was replaced by a band called Light Sound with the song "We Are the Heroes." To be honest, if I'm honest with you, it's probably not worth listening to either. They finished 16th place in a semi-final as well, and probably I would say that this wouldn't have finished much higher than that.
Okay. Well, shall I have a listen to compare?
All right, yeah, we'll have it. All right, we will have a
I need
listen.
to
Here we go.
compare. This is
All
the
right.
scientific, okay.
Whatever's standing in my way, we'll make it through the day. 'Cause we are the winners, we are the heroes. Breaking down the walls, we're gonna hit them all. 'Cause we are believers, we are the dreamers. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, I'll make it alright, I'll make it for you. Breaking down the walls, we're breaking down the walls. We are the heroes.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'm glad you made me watch it. You made me watch it because it's worth commenting on. It's
The hair alone is worth commenting on.
Yeah,
The haircuts. That is a group of men, grown men, fully grown men who have the same haircuts as 14-year-old emos did back in 2002.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Crazy. Terrible outfits, terrible song.
It's also one of those songs that features the line "We are the winners" in the chorus, just in case they win Eurovision, because that would be great.
It's a
But
bold move to take.
Yeah, it's a bold move.
It never pays off.
No, they didn't win anything. They finished 16th.
Has it ever paid off? Maybe that's something for me to look into. What's the furthest someone who has claimed to be a winner that's ever paid off? We know from episode 1 of this podcast that the good old Sylvia Knight
Who
boldly
built it
named
into a
herself
song.
as the winner in
Yeah.
her song, and that didn't end
pay
very
off.
well either.
No, didn't even make it to the final.
Nuh-uh.
Okay, so do you think it would do much better than semi-final 16th place?
No.
Or Aljona Lanskaya?
No.
Okay,
No.
cool.
No. Oh my God. Spoiler alert. I have just
Ooh.
seen the next 2
No.
videos of who they are, and I'm very excited because she's a big name on
So-
this podcast.
Absolutely. So we're staying in 2012, and this is another track that didn't really make it to Eurovision in its original form, and we're including those as well in this episode. So it's a song from one of the hardest triers in the Eurovision family. It is,
They
of
really do
course,
try.
they really try hard. It's, of course, San Marino, and of course, if it's San Marino, it's got to be Valentina Monetta.
Valentina.
The song, of course, the song, to give it its full original title, which I didn't know. The full title is Facebook open brackets, a satirical song, close brackets. So
They've either got the best sense of humour in the
Or-
whole of the Eurovision family, or they are just beyond
nothing at all.
clueless. They're beyond help.
So Facebook a satirical song was chosen internally by San Marino to represent them at the Eurovision Song Contest 2012. On the 18th of March 2012, a few days after the song was announced, the EBU deemed that the song contained an unreasonable commercial message for Facebook, which resulted in the lyrics disqualification. According to Eurovision Rule 1.2.2.g, which says commercial messages are not allowed within songs. So San Marino was given the option of submitting a new song or revising the lyrics to remove any references to Facebook no later than midnight Central European time on the 23rd of March 2012. On the 22nd of March, the CMR-TV announced that the song and its lyrics had been revised with a new title, the social network song OOO.
We know it, we love it.
Which is pretty much exactly the same lyrics, except instead of saying Facebook, Valentina says OO, which is genius.
Very smart of them. Very canny in San
very
Marino.
clever.
Can't pull the wool over their eyes.
So let's take a listen to Facebook OO.
I
Are you ready for a little chat? And a song about the internet. It's a story by the social door you've never seen before. If you wanna be seen by everyone, wanna be in the dream and have some fun. If you wanna be on the hook, simply take a look. Facebook, everybody loves you so. Facebook, everybody that you know. Do you wanna be more?
I mean, Valentina is one of my all-time faves.
She's
So
an
she can
icon.
do no wrong in my eyes.
She's an
And it was a
icon.
satirical song. They said so in the title.
But it's in the title. It's obvious.
They
You can't-
pointed
you can't
this
get
out
around
for
it.
everyone. It's satirical. The fact she says cyber sex. Do some
Oh,
cyber sex.
blimey. Yeah, that music
Sassy.
video is something to behold in and of itself. It's quite something. She's sort of dressed up as a teenage girl, and she's very much not a teenage girl at the time of recording. Yeah, so
Wow.
we don't need to listen to what was actually entered because it was so similar, apart from replacing the word Facebook with uh-oh. It did finish, though, in the semi-final 14th place. Do you think if they had retained the word Facebook, it would have ended up higher?
No. I think actually they did themselves a favour. The EBU
Oh,
did them a
interesting.
favour by taking the word
Really?
Facebook out of it.
Really?
So it just makes it weird. Like, even if it's not that you're going, oh, there's a commercial element to it, which obviously is my impression of Jon Ola there talking about it. Oh, there's a commercial element. I think it's just weird having a brand name in a song. It just makes you feel kind of gross. I'm not into it. It's like the time that Justin Timberlake did that song that was ba da ba ba ba, I'm loving it, and released it as a
McDonald's.
single, and it was just an advertisement for McDonald's. Like, how was that allowed? That's bizarre.
Do you not think that Mark Zuckerberg might have used his technical magic to make it do better though?
No, they might have just got sued. San Marino
Oh,
can't
yeah, she
afford
might
that
have got
either.
sued, yeah.
They ain't got.
That
They
would
ain't
have put the whole
got.
country
They ain't got a lot of
bankrupt.
money.
That would have been terrible. Are they a
No.
tax haven? We don't know. We don't know these things. So I'm very happy we managed to.
Always
include
got to
influence
shoehorn
from
Valentina in there
Oh,
somewhere.
and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I need a bit of clarity. Actually, I'm making my notes, but in terms of the final result, am I choosing the song that I think would have ranked highest, or am I choosing the worst of the band songs?
No, we are choosing if the song had entered Eurovision, the one that would have done best.
Okay,
The one
okay.
that we would most miss from our Eurovision history if it had been entered, if it had been entered, the one that would have done best.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So, Isabel, we are now moving 1 year ahead to 2013. However, we are returning to Belarus, and we are
God, what is wrong with them? Why do they not learn?
we are also returning to Alyona Lanskaya, who in 2011 was banned for corruption. She was allowed to return 2 years later to compete. Oh no, she was in 2012. It was only 1 year later. She was allowed to return just 1 year later to compete to enter into Eurovision. And she won the selection process once again. This time we're assuming it was legitimately with the song Rhythm of Love, which gained full marks from both the public and the jury votes. I'm not saying there's anything suspicious about that. I'm just saying it was full marks.
Was it the same political leader at the time?
Oh, maybe there was an ousting.
Maybe
and
they
the-
changed. Maybe they brought in someone who was happily corrupting Eurovision.
Yeah, oh, getting some money on the side. So, however, the song and the singer was selected. However, after poor feedback from the wider public, the responsible committee for the Belarusian network decided to replace it. And on the 6th of March 2013, they announced that the song Soleo would still be sung by Lanskaya, but would be replacing the original song at the Eurovision Song Contest. So, let's have a listen to Alyona Lanskaya's Rhythm of Love.
I read in my mind, spraying my feelings
apparently poor public reception.
What are they on about? That is a tune and a half.
It is a tune and a half. That is correct, Isobel, and a great title as well. Rhythm of Love. You can't get much better than that for a title. However, shall we listen to the replacement for that, which is a song called Solayo by Alyona Lanskaya. So that was Belarusia with the song Soleo, which took the stage in 2013. You know what I think Belarus did here is that they wasted 2 excellent songs in 1 year.
Madness! What were they doing? Both of those songs are absolute tunes.
I know. It's
like Soleo. That's great. Like absolute Eurovision. Love it. Very Eurovision. But Rhythm of Love, I'm vibing on now.
Rhythm of Love.
So where did Soleo come?
So Soleo made it to the final. Good for them.
Good.
Finished in 16th with 48 points, which is not high. It's not the top. No. Top quarter, top third. I don't know which would have done better.
I would say, in terms of the other band bops that we've had so far, this is by a long stretch the best of them.
Yeah.
Rhythm of Love is marks above the rest of the dross we've listened to.
Yeah.
Would it have done better than Soleo? I don't know, because Soleo is such a Eurovision song.
It is, isn't it?
That's why it got to the position that it got to.
Yeah.
Whereas Rhythm of Love is not, for 2013 as well, is not your typical Eurovision tune.
Yeah.
So maybe would have been marked down on that. However, I prefer it.
I think the staging had much more potential. The staging of Rhythm of Love had topless men just sort of writhing around on the floor.
Crawling around on their backs on the floor. They'd be grubby at the end of that.
Whereas they were dressed in Soleo, which I think they could have just crawled around on the floor topless some more. It would have given them some more points. But that's always the way, isn't it?
Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Okay, but I think they would be pretty equal, right? They're pretty equal in terms of. I don't think that's the case with all of them. Like really, you swap them out, and probably most of these songs would have had the same result. So we're going to move on to our 6th and final entry into our Blacklist Eurovision this year. I guess now it's yearly. I don't know. This episode. And that we're moving now all the way from 2013 to 2019. And we are going to Ukraine. Maruv entered the Ukrainian national selection in 2019 with the song Siren Song. And she easily made it through her semi-final and was one of the top contenders going into the final. During the final of the national selection, it was announced that the broadcaster had reserved the right to change the decision made by the jury and the Ukrainian public. She won that night, and following her win, it was reported that the broadcaster had sent her management a contract requiring Maruv to delay all upcoming appearances and performances in Russia in order to become the Ukrainian representative. After it became clear that she would be performing in 2 concerts in Russia in the following months, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Culture Vyacheslav Krychlenko, apologies for the pronouncement, stated that artists who toured in Russia or did not recognize the territorial integrity of Ukraine should not take part in Eurovision. She was also given 48 hours to sign the contract or be replaced. The day after, Maruv revealed that the broadcast had broadcaster's contract had additionally banned her from improvising on stage and communicating with any journalist without the permission of the broadcaster, and required her to fully comply with any requests from the broadcaster. If she were not to follow any of these clauses, she would be fined 67,000 euros. And Marouv also stated that the broadcaster would not give her any financial compensation for the competition and would not pay her for her trip to Tel Aviv.
What? So they want her to do everything, pay for everything, do everything they say, and if she messes up once, she has to pay them loads of money. Cool. Pretty sure she didn't go ahead with that then.
You are correct. So on the 25th of February, both Marouv and the broadcaster confirmed that she would not represent Ukraine in Israel due to disputes with the contract, and that the broadcaster announced that another act would be chosen. National final runner-up Freedom Jazz announced on the 26th of February that they had rejected the broadcaster's offer to represent Ukraine as well.
Sorry, say that again. They were called
National Final runner-up Freedom Jazz.
Freedom Jazz. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Freedom Jazz. A group named Freedom Jazz.
Jazz, yeah.
Freedom Jazz.
I haven't
Freedom.
got any
Freedom
more
Jazz.
Freedom
Okay.
Jazz.
Okay.
Announced that they had rejected the broadcaster's offer, with third place finisher Kazka confirming that they had rejected the offer as well following day, meaning that Ukraine eventually had to pull out entirely from performing at Eurovision 2019. So let's have a listen.
I didn't realise that was why.
Yeah, that was why. It was all a load of bullshit from the broadcaster and the vice prime minister, who basically...
Mad.
So let's have a listen to what could have been on the 2019 Eurovision stage with Marouv, Siren Song.
Bang.
Isobel, from the sounds of your watching there, I think you are in complete agreement with me that it is a tragedy that this did not make it onto the Eurovision stage I mean, gosh, right?
I mean, so, okay. When it started, watching the video, straight away I was like, bam, yes, sexy lady. We got killer heels.
Big old
we got
boots,
some big old boots, some tight latex. I'm into this. An androgynous woman. I love an androgynous woman.
Oh, yeah.
I am an androgynous woman. I'm well into it.
Yeah.
Then when the song started, to be honest, I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah,
I was like, so sexy, sexy. And then the song, no sexy. What's going on? There's a disconnect here. I thought this was going to be amazing. And then she goes, bang, and it kicks off. It kicks off and it's amazing. Oh my God. Honestly, that's made me a bit hot under the collar.
It's a strong video.
That's incredible.
It's a strong video.
The video is amazing. When the song actually gets, kicks in, it takes a little bit to get there, but once it kicks in, you are involved, invested.
Yes.
And the physical, on-stage performance of that would have, potentially would have turned a large proportion of the Eurovision audience.
I mean, do you think also, Isobel, that probably the backstory that I gave to that also contributed to our appreciation of her as a woman who had a male
she
minister of
not
culture.
Being told from no one that she's going to do this, do that, and then pay and say thank you, sir. Yeah, really grateful for the opportunity. Absolutely not. She is an icon for saying no. She's an icon for not taking that song to Eurovision. Can you imagine the balls that woman has to not take that song to Eurovision, to say no, I'm not doing it, it's absolutely not happening? That could have been top 5.
Oh man. It could have been high. It was like when we were preparing for Eurovision last year, it was right up there on my list. And actually, I've listened to a bunch of other Marouf songs now, and they're all some strong bangers in there. Some very like house dancey numbers. She's great. If you want to listen to more of her, I highly recommend it. That is our 6 of our first inaugural Blacklist Eurovision Song Contest. Just a recap, we had Stefan and 3G with We Don't Wanna Put In. We had Anastasia Vinikova with Born in Belarusia. We had Alyona Lanskaya with All My Life. We had Valentina Moneta with Facebook. Oh. We had Alyona Lanskaya again with Rhythm of Love. And finally, we had Marouf with Siren Song. Isobel, from lowest to highest, where did our songs rank in the Blacklist Eurovision Song Contest?
Lowest was... there's 3 joint lowests.
Oh, God.
So my joint lowests are San Marino 2012 with the Facebook song.
Oh, poor
Valentina. I'm so sorry, but I hate Facebook. I've not been on it for years. I'm not interested in it.
Okay, yeah. She did, and you're saying she did better with the revamp.
Yes. I prefer the revamped version of the song, and I also love Valentina forever. So this is no slight on her. She's a very hardworking woman and should be respected for her drive and her resilience over the years. Absolutely should. Joint last place alongside Valentina is Belarus 2012, the song that I barely even remember
All
it.
My
The shit.
That was better for the story than it was for the
one.
song. It was corruption. It
Real
was corrupt.
bad.
It was corrupt. It deserves to be laughed.
And alongside that is also Georgia with We Don't Want to Put In. However much of the song is a bop, your voices are terrible.
Terrible.
Real bad.
Yeah,
so joint bottom. Next.
We are now on, what's this? Third place in our Blacklist
Third
Eurovision.
Place, yeah, because they're all joint bottom. So third place is Belarus 2011, which I gave 6 out of 10.
Born in Belarusia is in third place with 6 out of 10. That's Soviet bop.
Soviet bop, better than the other 3, which were crap.
Yeah.
And dubious lyrics, but really into the melody.
Okay. So this is gonna reveal, but let's do second place.
So second place, up until when you played me Marouf, I thought was gonna be my winner. So Alyona from Belarus 2013. That song is a tune and a half. Absolutely, like you said. They had 2 Eurovision songs there. They cancelled one to put forward the other. They're probably just as good as each other in terms of song level. Yeah. But they could have got just as far 2 years in a row in the contest.
They could have done it.
Like, that first song is amazing. So much fun. I'm adding it to my playlist. Rhythm of Love. Great song name.
Yeah.
I'm into it. It's a bop. I was having fun. Little disco tune.
Yeah, absolutely. So that means that the winner of our first inaugural Blacklist Eurovision is...
It's Marouf. It's 2019 Ukraine. Not only is that the best out of that bunch, in which case it is, as you said, it's our winning blacklisted bop for this episode, but I would say that's now in my top 3. It now sits alongside our lovely Icelandic friend
Daddy Freyr.
Daddy Freyr with Is This Love, and Margaret, our lovely friend Margaret as well, with It's Hotter Than Fire, Water Can Cool Me Down. As those 2 have always been my 2 favourite ever songs that never made it to Eurovision. Marouf is now joint with those 2 songs as my favourite songs that never made it to Eurovision.
Well, congratulations to Marouf. I'm sure she's going to be delighted with with the result here tonight. All right, well, let's wrap it up. I don't have a song this week because we've listened to 12 songs or something similar, and that
fair
would be
enough,
too
mate.
much. And I wouldn't want to compare myself to Maroov anyway. So we now know that from the last decade, maybe we'll do it decade by decade going all the way back, but we know that from 2009 to 2020, Maroov is the winner of the Blacklist Eurovision. Thanks, Isobel, for being your best judgy wudgy self on that. I feel like it was
Excellent episode. Excellent. I'm fully on board with the future versions of this.
yeah.
Very excited with what's to come.
And if anyone has any suggestions or they know a song that was kind of half entered and then never made it or whatever that they would want to put forward, please feel free to email us at europhoriapodcast@gmail.com or tweet at us.
At EuphoriaCast. And get ready for the next 2 episodes, which we couldn't, Eurovision isn't taking place this year. But in the same way that the EBU is going to celebrate in a non-competitive format all of the entries from this year's contest that would have been in this year's contest, we will also be doing the same. So get ready for 2 more episodes of Isobel being judgy as hell.
Yeah, I was going to say we are celebrating in a competitive format.
Oh yeah, everything we do is competitive, highly competitive. We don't abide by EBU rules a lot of the time.
No. Yeah, but we're going to
We're
do
rogues, we're mavericks.
We're going to do semi-final 1 next week and then semi-final 2 the following week. So we will cover, and we'll include the big 6 in there somewhere as well. So we will cover and decide, I guess, which is the Eurovision winner of 2020. Is that right?
I will decide that, yes.
Okay, well, there we go. Tune in for that next week and the following. But in the meantime, everyone, stay safe.
Yes.
And try not to lose your minds whilst being in self-isolation. We love you very much for listening, and we will see you next week. Goodbye!
Bye.